everybody, Alex the marketing guy again. Today I am in Marquette Place's kitchen, joined by my friend Chef Sara. Chef Sara, say hi. Many of you might know Chef Sara from the Innovation Kitchen series. Sara has been working for us for how many years now, Sara?
Going on 4.
4 years. She's the chef for the Innovation Kitchen. Given this year, the roles and things, everything's kind of changed. So we're very fortunate today to have Sara with us. And today, what are we cooking, Sara?
So I'm actually doing a play on sushi. I'm doing a hand roll, but I'm doing a breakfast take on it. So it's going to be ham, hard-boiled egg, and avocado on the sushi instead of fish.
Okay, and we're gonna put it all together. We're gonna roll the sushi today and show you step by step how you can do this at home, right?
Yep, definitely.
All right. Well, where do we want to get started, Sara?
So the first thing I want to talk about is rice. Sushi is a specific kind of rice, sushi rice, which is here. It's really starchy. So the most important thing about it is to make sure you are washing it intensely before you do your cooking process. You want to rinse most of that starch out of it. If you can't find sushi rice, a really good replacement is arroyo rice, which is used in risotto. Again, it's just that short grain rice that's very starchy. That's the first thing I'm going to do is actually rinse of the rice and wash it out. And I'll show you what you're looking for. Excuse me. And then, so basically what you're going to do is look for the water to become clear. So we'll see it gets very milky, and that's all the starch washing out.
And why is it that we want the starch out, Sara?
Because if you don't get that starch out when it's cooking, it's not going to actually absorb any of the water, and you'll just have charred pieces of not cooked rice.
Should I do this with other rice that I have at home?
You do not need to.
Okay.
This is just specific for sushi and like sticky rice.
Okay.
We're going to do that.
Great.
So, and then you really, for this small amount, you probably wash it 3 or 4 times, trying to get that color to be clear. The best is to you could rinse it that like in the chinois, but your best is to agitate it, which will get most of that starch out.
Okay, so if you didn't know, this is rinsing your rice. Make sure you get your starch out. I didn't know that before, so great to know, especially when you're making sushi at home. Anything that is utilizing sticky rice.
So the water's starting to clear. You probably wash it 2 more times, and you'll get it'll still be kind of milky, but not over the top. And that's what you're looking for. You can even see some of the rice has that very whiteness to it. That's what you're trying to get rid of. You're rinsing it so it's all the same opaque.
Okay. All right. So because we're live TV, we've already got some rice ready to go.
Right. When you are cooking rice at home, you're usually going to do a 1-to-1 ratio. So that was 2 cups of rice. You do 2 cups of water in the rice cooker. If you do it on the stove, you're going to want to add just a little bit more water, so about 1/4 a cup more because of the evaporation. But then you're all end up with this nice sticky rice. So I covered it with a wet towel to keep it from hardening on the top and then staying moist inside. And then when you're working with it, you'll see it's very sticky. So what you'll do is wet your hands lightly so it won't stick so bad.
So that's a reason why you're not necessarily using gloves when you're making sushi, is because of the stickiness of the rice. It won't interact the same with your gloves.
Exactly. When your rice is cooking, you should make your vinaigrette for the sushi, which is basically rice, wine vinegar, sugar, and salt. That's it. You're just a basic flavoring. It helps keep the rice not sticking together, as well as seasons it all. It gives it that slightly tangy taste. So I did 1/4 a cup of rice wine vinegar for 2 cups of rice. I did 8 tablespoons of sugar and a teaspoon of salt.
And we will have this recipe available in the comment section after this. So basically, we're just whisking this up, trying to mix all these ingredients together. So that rice wine vinegar, sugar, and salt.
Yep, and you're just basically trying to get it all to dissolve in that vinegar, which the essence will do. All right, and then at that point, you mix that into the rice and you end up with your pre-cooked rice. Then you're just going to roll your sushi. Work with your fillings first. So I've got an avocado, which I'm going to put a couple of on for safety. And because realize nobody wants to get their hands cut.
Especially when we're live. We would hate to have that happen. So I'm seeing here we've got a sushi roll, kind of a bamboo thing. Is there, can we buy those in the store? Like, they're easy to come across? Do you have to have one of those?
So I bought these on Amazon. So they're really easy. They're really cheap. This is like $1.98.
I'm going to show the folks that while you're getting your gloves on. So she'll demonstrate this. But basically, all it really is are little bamboo shoots. And they are flat, and that's where when we get into the roll, you can kind of pack down and she'll show you how that goes. But boom, you roll it up, the sushi be inside there, voila, you get your sushi roll. So
a cool thing you can do besides that is actually use wax paper. It's going to do the same thing. You'll have to change it more often, and these are washable, and so that's why you want to do it on sushi open. But then I'm going to cut out my avocado and my hard-boiled egg. The inspiration came from like doing a California club. So I was like, oh, I'm going to do some avocado, and then like sushi usually has avocado. So I was like, okay, let's play a little bit more and do some hard-boiled egg. Let's do some ham to give it that salty umami flavor. And then the nori, I kind of did last minute because a California roll, if you know, doesn't have nori on the outside. It's just rice. But I thought the nori gave it such a nice sushi flavor that I just had to go with it.
So this is a really nice, easy sushi for those of you that, maybe aren't big into sushi eating, or if you've never really made it. Here's a really kind of a simple ingredient one. Not using a lot of raw fish or raw, any kind of ingredient. A lot of stuff that you'll naturally just be able to find around your house that will make this process a lot easier for you at home. So
I need to grab a spoon right then.
And she's going to use a spoon because the best way to get avocado out is to just take a spoon and to scoop that out. So as you can see here with our hard-boiled eggs, she just went ahead and cut those into, kind of narrow, long strips, and that'll help in the rolling process, right? We're going to scoop that out.
You're right about the spoon and the avocado. You literally just scoop it out.
Perfect.
Alright. I'm going to do about 3 per roll. And I only did about 3 to 4 eggs. A lot of the hard-boiled egg yolk isn't staying inside when you're doing your sushi, so it was almost better to do a chopped egg, but I think when we're doing it per roll, it'll be easier to work. So these are my ingredients. Here. And then I'm going to get my sushi mat. You want to do the flat side down and the curves on top because it grips the nori when you're rolling. So I'm going to start with my nori. There's actually 2 sides to nori. There's a rough side and a smooth side. The rough side is where you're going to put the rice on, so the smooth side goes down.
And nori is just Japanese for...
Oh, it's seaweed. Yeah. Yeah, and this is not a seasoned seaweed. I know you can do like the seaweed chips from like Whole Foods, which are delicious.
So can we, just real quick, you had a rough side, and then you had more of a smooth side, right?
It's shiny and smooth. And then the rice sticks really well to the rough side.
I don't know if you're picking that up in there, but you can see where it's ruffled on this side, meaning that's the rough side. That's much shinier and it looks smoother. That's the smooth side down.
And then I'm going to wet my hands and grab some of my rice. You're going to use probably about a cup of rice when you're all said and done. I'm going to start with just a little bit. And you kind of sprinkle it out. Another thing you should know with the rice, it should be room temperature. It's going to make it work better for you instead of it being warm or like right out of the refrigerator.
Who knew that rice was so sensitive?
Right?
Needs to be cleaned of its starch, needs to be at room temperature.
Gotta have a bath, told a story,
right.
Whole thing.
And then rolled in tight for a bedtime story.
Exactly.
The story of the sushi.
So what I'm doing is just a thin layer. It's okay to have spots that aren't open, but you want to make sure you get these edges filled, because otherwise your end pieces are going to fall apart. So just picking that apart and following it up the row. And then I'm going to leave about 1 inch to a ½ inch on top, because that's how I will seal it at the end. But you could go all the way. It's just easier for my purposes, not being a sushi chef. All right. I'm probably gonna fill just a little bit of this in. You can see how I missed a lot of this edge. You wanna have that nice and full. And then you're gonna wanna do your toppings about a half an inch up in a straight line, but not, they're slightly overlapping, but not all over the place either.
And then we got just regular ham here, right?
Yep, I did a nice thin shaved ham and then sliced it to be little strips. And you can do as much as you want, but remember, as you're rolling, it's going to get bulkier and bulkier, and you're going to end up splitting the seams. So you want to do about an ounce to an ounce and a half of your ham, and like I said, maybe a couple slices of ham. So this is the magic part here. So you're going to take the edge of your mat and push it forward, go like this, and then again pull forward like that.
So you're not really actually rolling the whole thing up. It's more of a push and kind of press down.
Exactly.
And go.
And then, like I said, I left that edge here. I'm going to take a little water to seal it. And then make sure my roll is more smoothly rolled instead of square. You take it. And that's rolled sushi. It's that easy.
It's that easy. Well,
Right.
those of you that might try this at home, for somebody who hasn't really ever made sushi before, it isn't as easy as it looks. There's a bit of technique involved with the actual rolling process. And then depending on the ingredients and what you put inside, is really going to change that all up a little bit too. So this is our presentation. How would we finish this off now?
So with the rolls we're doing here at Marquette Place, I did a Sriracha Mayo. So it's a slightly spicy mayo with garlic and salt. And I used actual sun bowl instead of straight Sriracha, so it's got chunks in it. We just did a nice drizzle. And then I finished it with a toasted panko, just to give it some crunch.
And that's pretty much it, right?
And then it also comes with a side of seaweed salad and a couple of cucumber slices for freshness.
So if you come down to Marquette Place, starting now until supplies last, we may have some until tomorrow, depends on how long. This is what you would get with your meal exchange. So let's open this container up. You're gonna get 6 sushi in here, the seaweed salad, some cucumbers, little soy sauce, but nicely put together, freshly rolled by Chef Sara, all ready to go, all part of your meal exchange down here at Marquette Place. Sara, we want to thank you for spending time with us. On our way out, I'm going to definitely be trying one of these. But we thank Sara for joining us today in another episode of Taste of Marquette. We'll see you the next time.